Socrates would say that his life's mission or his life's motto is know thyself. Do you know yourself at all? Do you know when you're actually tired or actually sad or actually anything? Because total mastery would be to totally know yourself.
Right.
And that to me sounds like freedom, sort of. Because if, let's say, I need to be drunk, I know what to do such that I'm not drunk, that kind of thing. And people have, mythically speaking, said that he could tolerate extreme temperatures, he could tolerate extreme intoxication and not be drunk and still maintain his sanity, that sort of thing, which is very funny. like it's a really good party trick.
It's quite cool, yeah.
Like, for example, maybe if I cycle back to our 40 minutes discussion where we felt maybe there was no need to slow down because clearly we were having an engaging discussion.
Yep.
But I'm sure us sitting in this position with no backing will be tiring.
Yes.
So breaking in patterns, for example, in speech, would be a renewal in the self. But we have chosen not to prioritize that because of maybe social cues. So we have not been free now and we are internally wrestling. Is it more important to match this social expectation or to honor myself? But no one said you cannot slow down. So we have forgotten. We've forgotten that actually it's fine, that kind of thing. If you can mentalize it, like, hey, I'm feeling this now, and you lean into it, that means you're very, very aware. But most of the time, we cannot lean into anything because we don't know what we're feeling. I don't know what I want to eat. I don't know what I want to do, that kind of thing. So that's why I cycle back to the whole concept of knowing what you want.
Yeah.
If you knew what you want, actually, then it's a huge step forward because you can achieve it in many, many different means. But most of the time, we don't even know what we want. Or if we think we know what we want we don't actually want it. Like cheaters, for example. Like, what do they want?
Why do people cheat?
Why do people cheat real quick? They've lost control of the mechanism, isn't it? Like, in the most logical sense, you shouldn't be cheating. If you feel inclined to cheat, just tell the person, break up. No, let's leave it. Or, I'm honestly not satisfied with you. Maybe even sexually, so I have to go. Or buck up, that kind of thing, you know? Or fuel my needs because I need to search elsewhere, but they don't articulate any of that. They do it and they say sorry. Say sorry for what? If you felt the need to do it, then you need to do it. The kind of thing. So like, why was that even an apology? What's with the inner conflict here? There's a total loss of freedom, of agency, of control of the self. Because you don't even know what you want. I think there's a lot of things at play here in terms of what they actually want. Maybe they actually want to feel love that was earned by their own means and not from anything else because they don't believe the love that they're receiving. Maybe they want to feel like it's more true, like this is more real. And this is why also people get addicted to things because they feel that the addiction is more real than the now. Why, for example, the only way I can have real conversations is to get drunk first or to get high first because only then it feels more real. Because the masks I put up on myself is so much, I know it's not real. That kind of thing. So that cycles back to why I want to know what's real so that I'm in control.
Has your body and your mind ever clashed before? So let's say, for example, you know, in your heart of hearts, you know, you want to be closer to God, like what you said just now, right? Get closer to God. But your body is like, nah, functionally, we can't do it. Then how do you reconcile that?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So when they say that the mind says you should do it, but the body says no.
Correct. So to be honest, then who do you align with? Because honestly, I want it, but honestly, I don't really want it.
I think the example of my training was a good example. Yeah. So since we missed out the first part, I'll just reiterate it again. I was in a Tai Chi training session.
Yeah.
My mind says that I need to get closer to God, so I need to achieve the form. Because if you master your body, technically speaking, you can achieve the form and perform the routine in any condition. I attempt to do the form and my body breaks down. My body says, holy shit, I cannot breathe. I want to lie down on dusty floor. And I don't care anymore. So in my mind, noticing my body wants to do that, I'm like, okay, who's right? Because, but then perhaps, as we say, it's not in alignment. The body actually, and it's very, very beautiful. I'll recap this point in a short bit. But the body does want to seek God. But God was not in what the mind said. The mind said you must achieve the form. But it's not about achieving the form, but seeking where are you now. I'm training to see where I am. I'm sure that if a tiger came out, or if a person came out with a gun, I will perform even in the most extreme states. Because the body can push the adrenaline button and in the adrenaline destroy the body in the process. Because it doesn't matter. But in training, the body knows I should not be destroying myself too much. So where is that alignment point? Yeah. So that is an example whereby the mind said seek God, but I wasn't really seeking God. I was deceiving myself. The body is truly seeking God, but cannot explain to the mind, you should not be doing your Taolo or your routine at full strength.
Right.
You should do it in where I need to be, which turned out to be slowly, like very slow. I was doing it this speed.
Yep.
And that felt right. That felt okay for a sickly body. And another example, a very beautiful thing is that nothing wants to seek beauty, seek fire, or seek truth more than the soul. I don't know who said it, but someone said it. Maybe Bernice, I don't know. No, I think it's a podcast I heard also. Yeah. So if we believe that always, we listen to it. If the body is resisting, I would suggest that the mind should tweak why and ask, is it because what I'm seeking truly isn't God actually? It's something else. It's a perverted version. It's a corrupted version. It's close, but it's not there.
Yeah.
Then when all is in alignment, actually things feel right.
It feels right.
It feels right, yeah.
Okay, this is the thing that scares me here. And like, feels right is so subjective, right? So to link it to God and what you just said, I have a lot of Christian friends also who say like, oh, I ask them, how do you know when it's God speaking to you versus like what you mentioned, your mind is very, very smart. There's a way of rationalizing shit to make you do what it wants to do. Right? Like, how do you tell the difference? And just like, oh, it just feels right. But can you imagine if I just start setting people on fire and I'm like, this really feels right? Or I just start strapping a bomb vest, blowing myself up, saying that feels right. Like that doesn't make sense to me. So for yourself, how do you know when it's you tricking yourself, rationalizing to yourself that actually this is something you want to do versus like when it's genuinely your mind?
Right.
It's quite hard to differentiate, right? Because, yeah.
Yeah. There are some presuppositions you might need to add in, which is actually very interesting. Okay, tangent here. If you go to China and you study the most classical, most scholarly way of learning, Chinese in China, one of the first things you will learn is the Sanzi the 3-word sutra. And the first sentence is 人之性基本善. So that's the first sentence that is taught to, if I'm not wrong, to children in China under the Confucianist values, which is when humans are born, their innate nature is kindness. Now, if we remove this presupposition, it means that people are innately born evil, in which case, what I will say doesn't totally stand anymore, whereby, I can truly feel aligned towards evil. That's kind of freaky. But I will take one step back and say that perhaps, barring total insane mental illnesses, question mark, all these kind of weird things, whereby I think, to me, it's corrupted versions.
Yeah.
But the innate person always thinks that they're right. Innately, people are actually, in the deepest core, kind, or at the very minimum, the soul will seek truth.
Yep.
And if that's the case, then I can feel right, like this feels right for me right now, and I should accept also that it can change. So the game will change. So I'm sitting here, this feels right now. Information comes in as new and you go, I feel different now. And then you just change accordingly. So you're also constantly adapting. I feel that's also the correct way. So there's no permanent truth. Truth is also dynamic. Like in this moment, her drinking this cup feels totally right. But in 20 seconds, maybe it's not. It's that kind of thing. So it can't be that she's totally drinking. It's like the moment is now. Which then brings in the fourth dimension of time. Yeah. Timing.
Okay.
Right now, the right time.
Yep.
And it's very hard to debate what is the right thing to do at the right time.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I should apologize to Beatrice. Like now? No. 10 minutes not now? Like kind of thing.
Right.
Now. Everyone feels it totally makes sense. Yeah. Don't go.
Because my natural instinct when I hear that is, it's a very uncertain and scary way to live. If what might be true now might not be true in 5 seconds time.
Yeah.
And then the next thought that my mind goes into is, okay, how do I plan ahead? How do I be there 5 seconds in advance so when the time comes, like I'm already in position?
I love this question so much. Yes.
And like, yeah, that's just quite terrifying. Like what I'm doing now may be wrong. 10 years later, me a little bit into Ernesto, you fucking idiot. You should never go on a podcast and say all that shit. And now, right, you embarrass yourself and digital footprint, you're cooked, right? So, yeah, it's quite a scary way to live, right? I prefer like, okay, there's a fixed structure. This is my end goal. Fuck my feelings in between. I just want to get here, and then like I'll call that's successful. If I try to care about everything in between, like wow,
yeah,
that's what mental illness comes about. I swear. Yeah, okay, but obviously you have a different point of view. So
yeah, the point of view is this concept of presence, of being present.
Yeah.
That an opportunity, and I'm sure in entrepreneurship it works as well, where we accept the element of luck.
Yep.
When an opportunity appears to you right now, you jump or you will forever let it go.
Yep.
Sometimes. Not all the time. And sometimes you can work towards it. But many times we're like working towards the ability to be able to say yes when it comes. And the best example I can think of is falling in love.
Okay.
It's like, shit, should I confess now?
Yep.
I didn't plan it. Like, should I plan for it? And the more you plan for it, the more you realize that you cannot plan for it. Because it always twists outside your control. So sometimes it's like the opportunity appears here, like you jump the cliff right now, or you will never jump again, that kind of thing. That sort of thing. It's like you're walking along the streets and something happens, and then do you enact this act of kindness now or not? Okay, you say maybe not. I'm not sure. Shit, now? Or is it too late? Maybe it's not too late. Maybe I still have time. And you walk a bit further, and then someone else helped already. That means the ship has sailed. But what would have happened if you did that? That kind of thing. Don't know. Yeah. So here's you're right, where it gets subjective and scary. I feel like it's a painful shame if the winds of life blow a certain way and you can never catch up to it. You miss and you miss and you miss and you miss and you miss. Then I wonder if you're truly living, because you're only perhaps living based on your plans, which almost always go awry, or not exactly what you thought. Like, I'm not sure we've all experienced this feeling where you watch a game, or you play a game, or you watch a movie, and it just is end, and you're like, shit, now what? I feel like an emptiness, a void. Yeah, I feel like the same feelings that you had a plan, and the plan goes awry. But if you can listen to the wind and you know how to jump, when to jump, like, I might throw my whole life away, but I need to do this because it feels so right. That is a very interesting way to live.
I get that it's interesting. It's just I can't wrap my head around it. Like, I'm very, very afraid of people who always do what feels right. Because you talk about plans go awry, right? These are the motherfuckers you can't make plans with. Oh, fun, the base, I just don't feel like it. Sorry guys, it's not happening.
That's literally, and we have no schedule.
We have no schedule.
You know, like every single time someone asks you to hang out, I'm like, shit, I don't think I have time, because literally like 2 minutes in, I get a text message saying, okay, we're gonna go to training like in 30 minutes. Like, can you come over to my house first and then we go together? And I'm like, oh shit, okay, training time. But I think it's interesting, like how you said, because right now I'm actually trying to learn a lot of my own intuition. Like, for example, back at the whole cheating thing, I just want to bring it up because it was the thing that kept going in my mind when you were saying it. Like, what was that scenario or like that specific point in time when I felt like I wasn't going with the wind, you know, was when I actually felt it. Like, okay, the day that my ex-boyfriend cheated was actually the day that I felt like my body was crumbling. I was crying to Julian and Renise and being like, I think I need to break up with him, but for a completely different reason. Okay, it was a completely different reason, and I just instinctively knew that something was up, but nothing happened. Okay, I read back the text messages like a while ago, and I remembered that it was like when he was talking to me, he was completely normal, but I was angry, I was pissed off, and I was like, I don't know why. And I didn't want to be that irrational girlfriend that was like, why the fuck are yours? Like, useless being, you know. It wasn't like that. But I was literally feeling like shit. And then so the next time when he came back, and then I was waiting for him, and then I met up with him, and I was just bawling in tears, and he came in, and then, you know, like, I had a conversation with him, and I was like, I think we should break up. And then he was like, what the fuck, where is this coming from? Like, no, we shouldn't. Like, and he was crying and I was crying. I was like, shit, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. And I didn't listen to my intuition, and I didn't listen to my gut, because at that time I didn't know. And for the longest time till we broke up, that's when I found out, right? And then after that, like, ever since that day, like, I was just pushing it as well. Like, I suddenly felt so different in that relationship, but I just still tried to force it, you know, even though the winds was literally blowing me out of it, and I didn't listen to my intuition, which is crazy, because like, how I can't just, like, you know, I was talking to them, I was like, should I have just listened to my gut and fully break up? Because at the end of the day, if it was truly meant to be, I think it would, like, we would have gotten back together eventually some other time in maybe in the future. But I didn't take that job. I didn't just do it, you know. And I think it's also interesting, because bringing back to like how my mom always likes to say that if it's meant to be yours, you will have it. And like Renice, she was featured in a film called Amoeba,
Yeah.
and is now like touring the world. And she literally won like an award. What's it called? Crouching Tiger.
Actress.
Best actress. And the way that she like, so this film, once it gets to Singapore, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be really big. But this film, literally, they found her through the most like craziest way possible, like when they were doing these auditions, and she literally got the part because it's meant to be hers. You know, so I believe in fate.
She didn't audition.
She didn't audition.
Oh,
She
I
got
think,
like
yeah.
searched.
She got scouted and then she entered the audition for SSCI.
Yeah, she didn't sign up and she didn't know about it at first.
Yeah.
Until like they found her through like a long time ago, like
A website
website.
portfolio about her from some old company she worked with.
She didn't even work with anymore, and then she got contacted on Facebook. Someone wanted to be her friend, and she's like, "Who's this random person want to be my friend? I don't give a fuck." And then after that, kept requesting, and she's like, "Okay, fine, you know, I'll accept it." And they're like, "Hey, can you come down for an audition?" And she's like, "What the fuck is this?" They came down. She was doing an interview and stuff like that, and then they were like, "Okay, you should come for the audition," and then she got a part. Bringing back to the concept of like listening to your gut and intuition and kind of going with the flow,
Yeah.
I think it hasn't been something that I used to do, but I feel like nowadays, because I have more free time and like I'm working on my own self, I don't have like university, like I don't have exams to finish or stuff like that, I don't know. So now for me, it's easier to like just try it, and then if it fails, it fails. Like I'm always thinking like, what's the worst that could happen, you know? Like we get cancelled for this podcast, okay, fine, whatever. But like,
It's not you.
it's not you.
Oh, no.
It's not meant to be, you know. So
I have a very powerful point here, and maybe to also answer your question, which is clearly also pure instincts can't be the answer.
Yeah.
Because we've had in theatre seen pure instincts, and that is what we call primal. The person looks like an animal. Roar, fuck anything you want, you know, like eat anything you want, that kind of shit. Can't be, right? And that's where I found that, of course, it is that balancing, is the alignment. But being a Singaporean, the effect of censorship is you lose the ability to feel your primal instincts at all. So now you're working on pure logic. So therefore, to even touch a bit of primal, touch a bit of instincts is so foreign, you can allow your head to go full swing and you still won't even touch it actually. And that's what happened to me. Like full swing into primal, I can't even find alignment yet. So which means, you know, like if the alignment is the needle, that point that like you're trying to get that midpoint, by telling myself I'm going to be fully primal, I still couldn't reach what was alignment until a lot of barriers had to be removed. Then once alignment was hit, I rarely ever go to full primal, or cross the line, because my mind is so strongly logical. And maybe even, right, I think it's so powerful to contemplate the philosophers of our generations that had went on, starting from back in the old day where there was scientific thinking, scientific reasoning first got invented at all. Like, hey guys, you know, it's raining not because God is sad, but it's because of condensation and natural season and heat. To the extent of, you know, the Age of Enlightenment, Age of Romanticism, where they say, actually, wait a minute, we don't totally believe that kings are God-given, who have the God-given right to rule, that power is flimsy. And then what is true power? And how shall we organize and govern ourselves? And so this will go on to the advent of communism, to the advent of capitalism, proper democracy, all that. And then now, like, where are we? And then all the while, I feel like we are playing in the realm of logic. I feel that the next step forward in the evolution of total human thought is to add in instincts again, not to revert back to like the old days. That didn't work and you cannot go back anymore because it doesn't make sense. But to refine how does it feel like to have instincts put back into play, so that in a way it's like refining God, that the old people have always kind of prayed to, but then we felt, not really. So in a way we strayed from God. But now we're kind of coming back by in a different way.
Just want to talk about the arithmetic and
Yeah.
I remember that. Okay, so to start, right, to address all of that, let's start with Beatrice first. I feel like, bro, women's intuition is a real thing. Like they have this sixth sense, it's real. I can't explain it. It's
Prefrontal
fucking real.
cortex.
Yeah, prefrontal cortex. Okay, whatever they want to call it. Right, they can like sense shit. I don't know what it is. Right, but this is also at the same time the scary thing about women. I've noticed in my life at least, is that I'll be with like a close friend of mine, right? This is maybe like 3 or 6 months apart, and she'll say something like, "Oh, Naz, don't worry, that's something that I'll never do, don't worry about it." And I have a conversation with her and I can tell in the moment she's telling the absolute truth. But she's not lying to me. And 3 to 6 months later, she'll be like, "Oh, I changed my mind." And it's so scary, like I can't be in a relationship with this person, I can't do business with this person because they're not lying to me, they've genuinely just changed their mind. They're so fickle about like their principles and their values. And it's like, then how can I trust anything that you say? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could not even be lying to me now, but 3 months later you change your mind. Then everything you say now is just vacuous. Like, who gives a shit if you just change your mind like so quickly like that? So, yeah, like this idea of always following my intuition is quite scary to me also. Yeah,
Right.
all the gamblers say that. My intuition says let's put it on 21. Boom. Next thing you know, the fucking house is like they're knocking down the house. Your wife and kids are like on the streets. Intuition, right? Same thing with stock market. Same thing with so many things in life. People take a gamble and it doesn't work out. So like where's the line? I'm much more of like the systems and logic guy. Because if it goes wrong, then like fine. Poker as well. I love poker, right? If you always follow intuition, bro, you're not gonna go very far. If you always go by intuition. So it's a very scary way to live life as well. Because my intuition is fucked. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Not a woman. I don't have that supernatural power you guys have.
I really want to address this point because, like,
Yeah.
on the one, it's I would be careful not to conflate or combine the problems of random chance
Yep.
with the problems of what I call a complex problem. So, for example, gambling to me is not a complex problem; it's a simple problem. Either you win or you lose, and anything could happen. Whether or not I will get hit by a train, okay, question mark, maybe we ignore that. I also think it's like a simple problem.
Yeah.
You should just walk, and you wouldn't really know, whether like something will happen. But what's a complex problem is I want to be friends with you. So that's where intuition comes in a little bit more handy than like gambling. So I don't trust a gambler's intuition at all. I don't trust in the red light stock market as well. I think it's a bit on the gambling. So if you call it a gamble, I think no. But if you think of it like, like when is the right time to say hello, or like what's the right thing to say to a person who's grieving?
Yeah.
And you're thinking, shit, logical framework of like the DSM-5, like, manual of like would suggest this, but I feel like I shouldn't say this. And you see a woman go like, say something that's so profound, and you're like, holy shit, how do you know what to say? How do you know what was relevant to say? I don't think it was gambling. I think that was following intuition.
Is that intuition, or do you think that's something that can be trained? Do you think it's like through systems as well?
Okay. System recognition could work. Okay, we can only go so far, which means to say that, okay, under 7 kind of constraints or parameters, I could say 7 different sort of things. But truthfully, in the realm of life, it's infinite because we are adding the element of timing, we're adding the element of like the number of words, the pacing of words, and all at the same time. The only way to execute it perfectly is intuition because the body knows. Like, think of it like the fight and flight. You need to utilize that fight and flight like the avatar state of sorts. And if you can train it in the, like, like, okay, here roughly it should be this way.
Yep.
And they can guide you along, but the exact execution is too fast for the brain to comprehend. So I always thought of the brain as the banks of a river, like the guidance.
Yep.
And then the intuition to execute or everything else without thinking too much.
Okay.
Because it's like, can you train to pick up this efficiently, that kind of thing. But how do you know how, like when, question mark, or all the different ways to do it? It's too much to comprehend.
Okay, I was thinking along a simpler paradigm.
Okay.
Right? And I want to ask like you guys' advice on this also. So me and the boys, we always get together and discuss this, right? And a general, I'm sure like women feel the same way, I'm sure guys feel the same way. I think girls always complain like, oh my god, my boyfriend's not listening to me. He's giving me solutions. Whereas guys are always like, oh my fucking god, this bitch just wants to complain. Like, the solution's right there. I've given you the answer, take it. Right? So nowadays when I have a close female friend that comes to me with a problem, my intuition tells me to tell her, bitch, shut the fuck up. This is the answer. Step 1, 2, 3, boom, done. No more sadness. Right? But I've trained myself to be like, oh my god, it must be so difficult. Wow, if I were you, I would feel this way as well. Oh my god, you're feeling okay now. Like, that is not intuition. That is training. I've been coached to behave this way. Right? And I feel like the latter is a superior way of dealing with, forgive me for stereotyping, a girl who's sad, as opposed to my natural intuition. So this is one example where instincts are like wrong. So is it possible to achieve a state like what you said just now, the woman goes to someone who's grieving and she just knows exactly what to say and how to say it?
Yeah. So excited to the first question. You got something to say?
Yeah, I got something to say.
Please say.
Okay, so in a girl's POV,
Sure.
I think as someone, as like if like a sad girl comes to you, for example, and there's a like answer to your problem, right? I think it isn't what she said about isn't the problem. There's something deeper inside it that she cannot articulate in terms of there is something that's wrong. Like bringing back to the cheating example, I couldn't articulate what was wrong. Because I myself didn't know what was wrong. And I started, and my mind started giving reasons like, oh, okay, like, he hasn't said I love you yet, so maybe that's the problem, blah, 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 blah. And then But only after a while, then I was able to know. And I think maybe if you can share in terms of like you and Renice, like Renice is so good at articulating.
No, but they are bad example. No, they're too smart. That's a bad example.
But the thing is,
they're not
they
normal.
help me out so much because I'm like, why am I so sad? Like, and then they're like, maybe there's something deeper into that. Like, I think if you watched Love, Relationships and Toxicity, one of our other podcast episode, we actually did talk about why. Like Julian brought up an example of, I'm so angry at you, like you don't help throwing the trash, and it's like the reason behind it is that I'm not angry that you're actually not helping me throw the trash. I'm actually angry about something deeper, like you don't give me enough attention, or like in terms of I don't feel like we are like building this family together, you know, blah blah blah. I feel distant, blah blah blah. So it's not that pure reason of like, okay lah, how we do the trash then fine, solid, problem solved, you know. I think there's always something deeper to it. But yeah, okay, as you were saying.
Totally. I'm just going to paraphrase essentially what you said in different words. That maybe it's also easy to understand for other people. You remember how we spoke of logic being, okay, you can do it this way, but instincts is so fast because it can align the infinity of possibilities instantly into the right moment right here, and everything is performed perfectly. For example, in motion, like running away from a cat, or even in the words, the exact right words to say. Now, this can also be a double-edged sword. A woman senses danger so quickly that the mind has no idea where it's coming from, so cannot logically articulate it. And the common issue that a girl would do, which is not their fault at all, is that they will just grab something and say, this is the issue. And then, like for example, when he's upset that the house is dirty, and she says, no, the house is always so messy. Then I go, the house was messy for the last 2 weeks. Why are you bringing it up now? Makes no sense. But so the words is, the house is messy. You need to keep the house cleaner. That's not what she's upset about. But what is she upset about? So we dig very, very deep. I mean, it could be as simple as actually she can't find her shirt and she's worried because she likes that shirt very much. And actually that was the real reason. But if you ask the girl like, hey, can you articulate what is beneath all this? She says, I have no idea. I mean, if she was very honest, she'd say, you're right. It is not about the house being messy, but I'm not really sure right now. Then you can go on a process of discovery. Okay, noted. Let's try to dig. And you can dig around and you can either find it or not find it. It's a bit challenging. But you find it, both the guy and the girl I will notice will suddenly be in alignment. Then the guy will give the correct advice for that specific issue and the girl goes, holy shit, that's what I wanted to hear all along. That sort of thing. So for example, in your trained behavior of slowing down, you are doubting her words. Good job. That's the correct move first in a way, because to me, the instinctual level is this. Words are propositional knowledge. You need to look past the words and see what is the truth of the matter. If girls are extraordinarily articulate, then great, but that means to say that their prefrontal cortex, every cortex is perfectly aligned. Cannot be. So she's thinking way too fast. For you to, in a way, and it's good for guys to do this, slow down, take that words that she say, put it one side, question mark. You can approach it from a feelings perspective. You know, people say, no, approach it from feelings, and it's a good start. But it's too superficial as well because she knows you don't believe it. She knows you are just following the formula, and it goes, yeah, but no, I don't feel like you're listening because you have not hit the crux. But so then how do we hit the crux is the question about, right? I think it gets a bit hard. There are various formulas to try. One being that what must I feel like to be in her shoes? Like when will I be very angry that the house is messy? Then you think from that perspective, one possibility. Or using as much rationality as you can, plot the timeline of the journey and figure out exactly when is the moment that something shifted. Was when you're trying to put on your shirt. Then you try to narrow down. Wait, I noticed you shifted. Something shifted when this happened. Could it be this? So, for example, and I've heard this before, that the advice for guys is guess. Guess what the problem is. Just bomb it. And then if you get it wrong, go, okay, shit. So it seems like it's wrong. Is it this instead? And then truly believe her when she says it. Because sometimes you think it's like girls are just on their period. Is it your PMS? Like, then she may feel offended. They say, no, it's not. Or maybe it is that I'm sensitive, but it's not about the pain. Could be the pain. I'm just in so much pain and I'm crying out for help. I just need a hot pack or chocolate. That's an easy solution. Or sometimes it's something else. Is it that guy? Is it me? So when you guess, you're giving the girl the option to reconsider.
Yeah.
And then if you pinpoint it, then you will be in alignment.
Wow, that sounds damn tired. Can't you just tell me what the problem is?
And here's where it gets very, very beautiful in my opinion. Like, evolution has it that a mother who harbors a child in her will be so powerfully sensitive to every information from words, from sight, from sound, from smell, from sensation, that she has, strong prefrontal cortex. So that's why they are superhuman in that sixth sense. So I know we would love that they can articulate it as well, but it is in a way not possible. You can't have everything. For them to articulate it is to either destroy the sixth sense, so they're always in tune with what they're feeling and can articulate it, or their articulation is so incredible, but something will come at a cost, I'm sure. You can't have your brain functioning in all these ways. I think they'll be overwhelmed with things to say. It's not possible to live that way either. So, damn.
Just gotta dig it out. Is it this or it's not? Is it this instead?
Could be.
Relationship is hard work.
In a way, yeah. But for example, with me and Reese, we've had this discussion in different ways, and I learned so much, and then you feel like you grow as well. It's like, I know it's as irritating as it is, right? Like, when's the right time to work on a character? Like, okay, I'm not going to be a better person. Should I do it tomorrow at 6 a.m.? Like, we never plan to work on our character. I feel like girls getting angry at us is the perfect time to work on our character. It's like, hey, when's my lesson for, self-cultivation? And my girlfriend gets angry. Okay, seems like it's now. Like, I need to work on something now. What should the lesson be about? I'm tired, but there's no better time to work on the cultivation of self than the moment you made the mistake. If you get what I mean? Like, if you made a mistake now, you say, hey, I know you're feeling it shit, but put a pin on it, let's talk about it tomorrow, which, like guys like to do when you're feeling better. But if the moment is lost, your moment of folly is lost, you also forget the feeling of making a mistake. So your chance for reflection and growth is lost also.
Hard work, yeah.
I want to know the quote that you wanted to say.
The quote. Okay. It's a bit of a tangent also, but like, to rely on logic as the pure truth was something people tried to do before. Not sure if you know about this. Like, Principia Mathematica.
I feel like we talked about this.
I think we did. I can mention it again just for the fun of it. Like, that scientists have tried to use mathematics as the base of all truth and call it the principles of mathematics. That from these principles, as we stack it up from the foundation, that could be the resource or the source material we can reference for truth. Sounds great, but in a few years it will fail completely. And Gödel, I think, was one of the mathematicians and musicians that would break it apart by this thing called the self-referential theorem. He realized that if math could be the foundation of all truth, it should be able to have a set, like a set that contains all sets. If you get what I mean, like, a mathematical set that contains all sets. But then he found that it cannot contain all sets, especially the set which does not contain itself. Okay, it sounds a bit complicated, but I'll repeat it. A set that contains all sets except for itself. It sounds like this, in a simpler sense. This sentence is lying. If this sentence is lying, that means it's telling the truth.
Yeah.
But it can't, because it said it was lying.
Right.
Paradox. Referencing the self release of paradox. Principle of mathematics fails. Fuck, because you cannot have a mathematical foundation that contains all truth.
Right.
Because you cannot even say this sentence. Like, what the fuck? You cannot self-reference.
Okay.
Holy shit, that kind of thing. So
Like secondary reasoning type shit.
kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah. And since that exists, therefore there is no foundation for truth. Holy shit. That kind of thing. So in that same extension, you cannot rely on logic all the time. There must be that balancing of alignment.
But that assumes that the thing outside of logic can bridge that gap, though, which may not be the case also, right? Whether spirituality or
Right, like okay, maybe we may not say it's spirituality itself, but something.
Yeah.
To say that nothing can fill the gap means we are now in the realm of nihilism. Then nothing exists. Then what the fuck? Let's just give up. Let's just go into hedonism. But to say that something can fill the gap, or maybe even for a moment of time, people have said that I had a spiritual awakening, I had a spiritual experience, and at least for that moment, I saw God, I saw truth. That means technically speaking, it can be done. And of course, there are different terms to define what that gap is beyond logic. And everyone is saying something, but it seems to be all towards the same direction. And that is something beyond us. I feel like the simplest way is instincts. Something like that. Something that is that's beyond logic. Yeah. And we can look at it in different paradigms. Very exciting, but I guess that's its own episode.
Sure. It's deep, bro. Then, let's say as a girl, if you were in a relationship today, and then there was some kind of, maybe not conflict, but let's say you're upset about something, how would you like your ideal boyfriend to handle that? Is it in line with what he just said?
Okay, so that's like what I was thinking about as well.
Hmm.
In terms of my previous relationships, like I've actually been so chill to the point that like I suppress my emotions. So when I get super upset and I'm like, actually, I don't know why I'm upset. Okay, I need to fold it in, I need to fold it in, like go to the toilet and cry instead, you know, rather than cry in front of him, for example. But I feel like that actually destroyed the relationship even more because I was like, I made it so, in a way, so easy. It was always good times, like, you know, a few times I got upset, that's it. And I feel like I wasn't true to myself. That's why I've been working on myself so much because like I was my own problem, you know, feel how I actually feel and not hide it. So back to your question, yeah, I need to lash out next time, you know. I want like my future person to actually grow with me in that aspect. I want us to work together to figure out why I'm upset and at the same time work together to figure out why he made me upset. More of a teamwork type thing rather than I do it by myself and like cry in a corner and figure it out on my own.
So is it true that like in your past experience, when you've gotten upset, you weren't clear exactly what got you upset? Oh, yes, it's true. What? Really?
Like I wasn't clear. I mean, maybe sometimes it was clear. For example, he was late to this thing, but I understand that he had other things to do. So like, but I'm very fucking irritated that he's late because I have to wait for him. And then he's like, oh, just go do some other thing first. And like, I'll meet you later. I was like, no, I made plans. I have no other plans now. I don't know. I feel like it's more of, at this point, like, why is it that he was late in the first place? Was it because actually that he needed to be there to talk and socialize? So is that his priority now, that making me wait was okay? So I think that was a conflict. It wasn't that just because he was he had no choice. He actually did have a choice, if that makes sense. So I think I couldn't articulate it back then. Yeah. So now I seem like the asshole that is like upset over everything. Yeah. So I think like we hang out with these guys a lot more too. I feel like I've started to, it's like even since the first episode, I think I'm able to articulate myself a lot more nowadays.
Yeah. Just one thing that you mentioned, just to add on to that. Like as a guy who was extremely logical, and to not know how I'm feeling was a very strange phenomena, which I saw in theatre and the arts. Like when you're practicing theatre or the arts, there can be moments where, for example, the exercises attune you in such a way that suddenly you end up crying. Like, why the hell am I crying? I'm such a logical person, and people look at me, why are you crying? I'm like, I have no idea. They say, you look very sad. I guess I am. Why are you sad? I have no idea. Okay, sit down in one corner, think about it. And you think. Holy shit, I know! It's because of and you're like, holy crap, that's how it feels like. And that's like a practice of attunement.
So I'm wondering, do you guys feel that it's your own responsibility to process your own emotions, or do you feel it's the responsibility of the people around you, whether it's, you know, siblings, family, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is, to do that for you?
I think it helps when there's someone to guide you away from you like going to a different path.
Okay.
I think the final responsibility is your own, for sure. But in a community, you can work on it together.
Yeah.
By people point out stuff. I think the clearest, for example, is pointing out literally physical stuff. Where my favorite example was when I was acting in theatre, a scene to be scolding someone or getting angry, and then eventually I really got angry. And then I scolded like Renice in the exercise. I don't know why this is happening. Like, you know, you keep scolding me, but I don't understand. And she says, why are you smiling right now while scolding me? I go, I'm not aware I'm smiling. You are smiling. Stop smiling. Now scold me properly. Like, I was like, this shit's damn weird. Yeah. And that was interesting. So for someone to point out, do you know you are in this pattern? There we go. Pattern recognition again. Do you know you're in a pattern?
Interesting. Because I see myself as someone who's hyper individualistic and I don't like to rely on people. So my friend made me do this, you know, the attachment style test, some online quiz, whatever. And then there's 4 quadrants, right? So if you're low anxious and low, like you're not avoidant, then you're secure. Then there's low anxiety, high avoidance, and high, low. Then I thought I'd be secure. But it turns out after doing the test, I was avoidant dismissive. So when I write the report, it just meant that I'm someone who doesn't like to share vulnerabilities, talk about feelings, and I just kind of like suppress negative emotions. And I saw that, I thought, I'm a G. Like, that's exactly who I want to be. Yes, spot on. Right, but all my friends were like, oh, this is bad, and like blah, blah, blah. And I felt like they were imposing their own projection was healthy on me. For me, like, this is what I want to be. I want to be the kind of person that isn't easily guided or affected by my emotions. I want to be the kind of person that even if I'm angry or upset, I'm respectful. Even if I'm tired, I still try. So like, it's good that I ignore my emotions. Even if I'm sad, I still do what I have to do, right? So yeah, sometimes people complain like, oh, why don't you talk about your feelings? I feel like it's because I don't want to. It's not because like I don't like you. It's not personal, but like there's no point, you know. Like, I can solve. It's mine to fix. It's not yours. It's like my problem. That belongs to me. Like, I don't want you to fix it for me also. So it's a very, very strange paradigm to hear people talk about like, oh yeah, you know, like I want people around me to call it out or call out my physical behavior. Yeah, walk through it with me. Because like, I don't relate to that at all. Like, this is my problem to fix. If you want me to help you, I can help you, but like, this is my like, don't, you know what I mean?
Actually, sometimes you're not actually asking for help, but just talking about it, like, is like verbalizing your thoughts and your emotions to someone else, or like even writing it down by yourself. I think that itself is already like guiding you. So you can do it on your own. And that being said, like, there's so many people that gave me so many advice back in the day about all my other exes, blah, 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 and other exes, okay? Okay. And then, like, I never listened because at that point in time, I didn't choose to believe in any of them but myself. And that was completely fine, and I needed to go through that journey on my own.
Yeah.
And I did that completely, like, you know, died and revived. It was fine. It was great. But I think right now, why I listen to like Renise and Julian so much is because, first of all, I have so much respect for them, and secondly, for some reason, every single time I listen to them, it always works out. Like, not in terms of listening, but like I take what they say in an abstract way, and I formulate it in my own brain in how I feel like it could help me in a way better myself, to the point that I see my whole brain and anatomy actually changing, you know. So like, I think, of course, I'm a very open-minded person. Like, I love to listen to people's opinions. I don't even have my own opinion sometimes, because I'm so like okay with everything. But anyways, I think for the whole guided thing, I think it's okay if you don't want to take advice from people. I think it's completely fine, and you don't have to like beat yourself up about it. Like, I think everyone grows at a different pace. So I think for you as well, like, if you actually genuinely feel icked out that people have been coming against you and your character, I think it's totally, completely okay to feel like that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because like, I feel like we always talk about being imposed. We don't like to be imposed on.
Very fair.
And even though someone is saying something, if they're targeting you and your own personal like experience, sometimes maybe it can help you. But I feel like it just depends on that point in time in your life. Because maybe if you heard the advice again in like a few years down the road, maybe it will hit you differently.
That's true. So when you guys are going through things, your preferred outlet or way of handling it is to raise it up and talk to someone you can trust.
That's me personally.
Okay, fair enough.
I feel like I'll try to do it myself first, actually.
Right.
But also depending on whether or not I think I can do it. If let's say this is beyond my expertise, I'll just say, hey, anyone is an expert here and wants to do it, that kind of thing, and then if they want to do it, they just do it, and then they'll be much faster. So I have no qualms giving or asking people to help me.
Right.
Simply because it's more efficient.
I like that word, efficient. Yes.
Unless we're talking about the self, like literally the self. So on the one hand, I feel like we shouldn't discount how strong you are as a person to want to be able to, you know, be a pillar of support for a lot of people.
Yep.
Even for yourself,
Yep.
to be a strong foundation. That's very challenging that very few people can achieve, even at all. To be asked to reveal yourself is a very, very vulnerable thing. Who are you even? Like, you know, like, can you even like support me or even comprehend the emotions that I feel or I don't know if I feel? So I feel like it's such an honor. It's not for you to lay out on the sheets, especially if you don't want to. Yeah. Maybe if the time calls for it, or maybe what the test shows is that your predisposition, the default state, is to do it yourself. Again, nothing wrong. The only question mark is when push comes to shove in extreme crisis, will you be able to open up to it? Because maybe there's a need for it. If you're saying no, hell no, I draw the line, fuck no forever, then of course my question mark is, isn't that a stifling existence?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Of course, the next question mark is, what considers an extreme crisis?
Yep.
In life, I feel like I'm almost never in crisis, except in one situation. In theatre and arts, the crisis is real. It's like, oh my god, I cannot play this act and I need to be real, that kind of thing, because the demand is there. So that I feel like in today's life, there's not much crisis, even if it's quite big, actually can be easily navigated by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why maybe the arts is quite fun, because it exposes you to a crisis whereby you might really need to go to the counter opposite of your predisposition, because that's the only way. Your natural functions are not working anymore.
Yeah, that's an interesting state to be in. And to tie back to education, yeah, I'm so sad that nobody ever taught me this shit in school. Like, at least tell me. You know, there's weird motherfuckers out there like Julian and Venice who have this school of thought and they can like see the future and they can give advice and they're always correct. Like, at least tell me how they got there, right? It doesn't mean I have to adopt it, doesn't mean I have to start acting tomorrow, but like, it's not discussed in school at all.
Right.
Yeah.
This is literally in my curriculum, whereby like in the capitalistic model, whereby if the goal is to be a functioning worker of society, then actually you don't need this, because it can be repressed for the rest of your life. It's okay. But if let's say you want to live the fullest life possible, then we are no longer following the capitalistic model, but something else entirely. And this existed, by the way. It existed in the form of mentor apprenticeship.
Okay.
Whereby a guru, a master, takes on a few disciples and teaches, follows along in life, sees how you do it, and then why do you do it this way, and then they become better people. Which is why, in the simplest way to understand it, certain masters only take on a few pupils, but if you say, I'm a pupil of this master, it is a huge certificate of accomplishment. That holy shit, the master saw meaningfulness in you. But this model cannot be multiplied and expanded, because it's so hard. There's only a few masters that exist, which is where I feel like maybe the gap now lies. How do you form small communities, challenge yourself, grow, and just retake the wisdoms that they used to exist that don't exist anymore. Yeah.
And watch random podcasts like this.
So what's your preferred conflict resolution style work? If edit?
With who? With Ernesto?
Sure.
Oh, that's hard, because I've come to realize that no formula works. Different things work at different times. So for example, there was one of the recent arguments, logic didn't work. Like the usual of like, hey, where is your anger coming from? Let's try and analyze it. What worked was me getting angry. Like, I got angry at her, I shouted back, we threw hurtful words at each other. And then that revealed the core of what the conflict was. And we both go, oh, okay, now we know. We only knew because we got angry at each other.
But it requires a lot of intellect and awareness to catch that, right? I can imagine like the lay person would just be like, wow, I'm angry, then I'm fucking angry at you, say bad words to me, then I say more bad words to you, then it just escalates.
True, which is where I find perhaps potentially in a very comforting way, your partner in life ought to be more or less in the same position of maturity as you. So therefore, like someone who partners with Ernesto will go, shit, this is way too intense for me. But for me, I say, no, I like this. And if you have a partner that's on the same journey as you, I feel like the intensity of conflict will be the correct amount. Like, I don't think if you're attracted to this girl and this girl's attracted to you, she will not suddenly go, whoa, I'm freaking out over this very particular issue which demands a complete change of your life, that kind of thing. Unless you're keen to jump. That sort of thing, yeah. I think it will be appropriate. And then you journey along. Unless you feel like she's too boring, like, you're pushing on in life so far ahead, then maybe actually you might need to change partner. Whereby, as you can see clearly, you kind of want to be with someone that is on the same life path as you and progressing with you. That kind of thing. Or maybe you are stagnating and she's pushing on ahead of you and she's like, you're stagnating, bro. Then I need to leave you. Or I want to cheat. I'm feeling myself wanting to cheat because you suck. You're always the same.
Or the other way around.
Or the other way around. Yeah. So, but with that said, I feel like the partner will be appropriate. Yeah. The argument will be appropriate also. That will be meaningful for both parties, I hope. If not, let's leave and then.
Do you feel like sometimes ignorance is bliss? So someone who doesn't think as much, think as deeply, it's like you and Renee, then they don't even know, all the shit. They're just happier. Do you think they're better off that way?
I think I'm a very simple person.
Yeah.
So, in terms of ignorance, I'm ignorant to a lot of my the political things that's going on in this world. Like, I'm aware of it, but I don't really go in depth about it or read a lot of books. I've just chosen one thing to work on, which is just myself. to focus on for now. Wait, can you repeat your question again?
Okay,
Is ignorance bliss? Is it?
yeah. So maybe to streamline the question, right? I don't know about you, but me personally, man, after I talk to Julia and Renice, I go home and like I sit there, I lie a bit awake and like, wow, stop thinking about fucking life. I'm like, am I living correctly? What's the motherfucker talking about? It's dropping what? Some good. Some fucking code. I don't know.
Gödel?
Gödel, yeah, with some mathematical equation.
Gödel's.
It's like, what the fuck?
What's his full name?
I'm not sure what his full name is, but his name is Gödel.
Like talking about alignment, and I'm like, wow. I was happy. The version of me was happier before I met Julia and Renice, because now I got to think whether I'm in alignment and telling the truth and.
But
all
I
that
feel
shit.
like for me as well, I also thought like this, right? Because I was like, wow, I was living such a simple life, but I was never fulfilled. Okay, like even in my relationship, I was so simple, everything was great.
Yeah.
Okay, before I realized he cheated, but like before that, even I was like, OMG, you know, like I don't feel fulfilled. I'm doing exactly everything what I love, but there's something missing, and I cannot like grasp what it is.
Okay.
So then after like, you know, all these like guru talks and everything, I feel the most alive. That's when I'm like, yo, actually there's this fire burning inside me, there's this passion to do something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the fuck I need to do, but I want to do it, you know, like I'm ready. And I think what is helpful is that jump, that's first step, which is like dive straight into it, like, you know what, fuck this 9 to 5 jobs, starving asses, let's fucking go. And like
Respect.
yeah, but at the same time, I always question these guys, like, not gonna lie, you think I have it all in control. I always tell these guys, like, I don't know, what's my thing, you know, I'm following you guys, what's my thing? I need to find my own thing. But I still can't find it. But my growth right now, from like my physical to my mental state, I feel like I'm so much better at Tai Chi, which is like 3 months worth. My knees are still in so much pain. 3 months of knee pain. I know what it is like as an old person to have knee pain for 3 months straight, okay? Every single day. Still pain. Okay, anyways, we made this joke, I am Beatrice's knee pain low. Okay, but anyways. And I think for me right now, that was what kept me being really interested in actually this conversations.
Yep.
And this level of thinking. Even though I think of it as a very simple person. But from all these big words and everything, I simplify it in my own little brain of mine, and I make it so meaningful, and I finally find a meaning in my life. Of course, I mean, I'm like religious, you know. Oh, it's a very sensitive topic. But like right now, I also feel the most like real, the most authentic version of myself. Because I've been such an open-minded person, you know, people-pleasing everyone. Every single person I hang out with in the past and everything, in my friendship groups and everything, in every single group, I'm a different person. Like, I'm a different character of my own self. Which is actually crazy. Like, I can be church holy girl one night and party animal at the other night, you know? So I think now I'm actually finding that in between, the real authentic self, you know, that's not influenced that, I mean, of course it is influenced by my surroundings, but like trying to find my own voice, if that makes any sense. Okay, but
And you're happier for it.
yeah,
right?
I'm happy for it.
I respect.
Even though it's fucking difficult, not easy having knee pain for 3 months, okay, but I'm the strongest I've ever been, so I'm glad, it's just great.
I feel like you're asking the Matrix red pill, blue pill question.
Sure.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you want to be like privy to the truth,
Yes.
which will shock you, or do you want to stay in the simulation? And I think Gurdjieff was another guy who quoted this thing saying that some people want to be asleep and they should be left alone to sleep. Do not disturb them.
That's so. Do you think there's more than 50% of people or less than 50% of people?
I don't know, you know, but all I know is
say it. Pretend the camera's on there. Just say it. Fuck 'em.
Easy.
I mean,
It's about authenticity, right? Lying is inauthentic. Tell me the truth.
my guess
Yeah.
is that too many people are asleep, but of course in different stages of asleepness. We may have moments of lucidity, yes, and then you quickly fall asleep, but you aren't even aware you fell asleep. I feel like the whole world is asleep. Even myself, I wonder like at what moments am I asleep, and then when these moments are revealed to me, it shocks me, and I go, whoa, okay, let me write it into my diary. Why did I do it this way? When did I lose consciousness in a way? Yeah. So, yeah, the goal is to be awake, to be conscious, to be aware, to know what alignment is.
When you say too many people are in a state of being asleep, give me a number. Give me a percentage.
I mean, I think everyone, like it's essentially pretty much everyone
Okay.
is asleep. Then, of course, the question mark is how asleep. To me, in a way, if you're totally awake, you are essentially enlightened.
You're like a Buddha. You're like Buddha, basically.
Essentially, yeah. Or in the Christian version, you are essentially a saint. You've achieved sainthood. So, do I think these people exist? I think they do actually.
Right.
And then they're just in the state of being. So, I cannot put a number to how many people are awake.
Right.
But I got a feeling that the people who are more awake are sensing each other and they go, hey, hey, what the fuck are you doing? kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, therefore, the question to me is like, and why I hesitate to put a number to it is because it's not important. It's not important to guess.
Pussy.
No, really, because it's not important to guess what the state of the world is, but to ask yourself, are you awake? That's the more important question. Because it could be the whole world is awake except you. Then what are you doing? kind of thing. So even if the whole world is awake or even the whole world is asleep, it doesn't matter because are you awake and do you want to be awake?
How do you know when you are awake or
I see you.
sleeping?
You know if you know the kind of thing. Or more interestingly is that if you want to be awake and then you say, okay, show me I'm asleep. Let's do the reverse. I say, let's play some games. And you do some theatre games and then we point there. Arts can reveal to you that you're asleep. Because you want to do it and by every physicality you should be able to do it but you cannot do it. That's very interesting. But you go, why the fuck can I do it? Is it my muscle not strong enough? I say, yes, the muscle of body-mind connection.
Fine, I'll come for Tai Chi again. Fine, I'll see you next week.
And with that, thank you.
And with that, let's end it off here. Thank you so much for watching. Have any last words?
No, I'm good.
Should I have any last words?
No.
Well, stay tuned for the next episode. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to make this 2 parts.
Or even 3. I don't
Or
know.
even 3 parts because of the long conversation. So, yeah. See you again soon. Bye bye.
Bye.
Beautiful.
Please is coming here sleeping, you know.